The date, May 25, 2025, will forever be etched in Ukraine's memory. Russia launched a massive aerial assault. Nearly 300 drones and 69 missiles rained down. This attack was not just on infrastructure, it tore at the heart of families. At least 12 people were killed. Among them were 3 siblings from the Zhytomyr region, west of Kyiv. Stanislav was only 8, Tamara was 12. Roman was 17. Their young lives were brutally extinguished. This tragedy highlights the devastating civilian toll. The sky, once a canvas of dawn and dusk, now carries death. The sheer scale of the bombardment underscores a grim escalation. The terror from above is not isolated. It is a continuous grinding reality. Ukraine's Air Force reports constant drone attacks. These unmanned vehicles sow fear across numerous regions. Sumy faces them. Kyiv endures them. Dnipropetrovsk and Kharkiv are relentlessly targeted. Oleg Sinogubov, Kharkiv's governor, speaks of their unceasing nature. This persistence wears down the population. Sirens become a daily soundtrack. Nights are spent in fear, often in shelters. The psychological burden is immense. Daily life is a fragile concept, easily shattered by the next alert. This is the new, unwelcome normal for millions. The physical destruction is widespread and profound. In places like Zhytomyr, residents pick through the rubble of their former lives. Homes, schools, and vital community centers are reduced to twisted metal and concrete. Each strike chips away at the nation's infrastructure. The damage is not just material, it is emotional. It represents lost memories, shattered security, and a future deferred. The relentless attacks aim to cripple not just military capability, but the very ability of communities to function. Rebuilding seems an almost insurmountable task when the threat of new destruction looms constantly. The landscape bears visible wounds. These aerial bombardments are a deliberate part of Russia's ongoing strategy. Recent weeks have seen a 30% increase in assaults. This is widely believed to be part of a renewed Russian spring offensive. The intent appears to be multifaceted. It aims to overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses. It seeks to terrorize the civilian population. It attempts to break the national will to resist. Ukraine's defenders work tirelessly to intercept these threats. However, the sheer volume of missiles and drones presents an enormous challenge. This is warfare aimed at the spirit as much as at strategic targets. The war has forced millions of Ukrainians from their homes. A significant wave of displacement occurred in May 2024. Russia's advance north of Kharkiv caused thousands of civilians to flee. They left with what little they could carry. Their lives were packed into suitcases and bags. The pain of abandoning homes, communities, and familiar landscapes is immense. Many do not know if they will ever return. Families have been separated. Children especially bear the hidden scars of fear and uncertainty. The roads leading away from conflict zones became arteries of sorrow and apprehension. This exodus added to the already staggering numbers displaced since February 2022. Life for the displaced is fraught with daily challenges. Finding adequate shelter is a primary concern. Many live in temporary accommodations, such as schools or community centers. Basic necessities like food, clean water, and medical care can be scarce. The trauma of war, of loss, and of flight weighs heavily on their minds. Yet, amidst these hardships, incredible resilience emerges. People adapt, they support one another. Strangers show profound kindness. The struggle for a semblance of normalcy continues even in the most trying circumstances. For many, this is not their first displacement, making the search for lasting safety an exhausting, repetitive ordeal. The physical scars of the conflict are etched deeply into Ukraine's towns and villages. Areas that have seen intense fighting or prolonged occupation bear witness to horrific destruction. In eastern Ukraine, Russian forces have made slow, costly advances in Luhansk and Donetsk. They aim to capture the entire Donbas region. Towns like Avdiivka, from which Ukrainian forces withdrew in February 2024, show the brutal aftermath. The front line, though moving slowly, grinds away at the land. Russia recently claimed control of several more villages in the Donetsk region. Each advance leaves a trail of devastation, turning vibrant communities into ghost towns. Yet, even amidst such profound destruction, the spirit of defiance and the will to rebuild endure. Where fighting has subsided or in areas cleared of Russian forces, people attempt to reclaim their lives. Residents are often seen sorting through rubble, salvaging what they can. Small acts of reconstruction begin, sometimes with little more than determination. Community efforts to clear debris and repair essential services are common. There is a deep, unwavering connection to their land. This refusal to be erased, this quiet determination to restore and to live, is a powerful testament to Ukrainian resilience. It is a daily act of resistance against the forces of destruction. The search for a peaceful resolution to this brutal conflict remains frustratingly stalled. The United States, particularly since President Trump took office in early 2025, has pursued negotiations. However, finding common ground is exceedingly difficult. Russian President Vladimir Putin has laid out firm demands. These include the removal of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He also insists on the incorporation of 5 annexed Ukrainian regions into Russia. For Ukraine, these conditions are entirely unacceptable. The chasm between the two sides' fundamental positions seems unbridgeable. International diplomatic efforts continue, but a tangible breakthrough is not yet in sight. Each day without peace means more lives lost and more suffering. The international community has reacted strongly to Russia's continued aggression. Following the massive aerial attacks on May 25, President Trump expressed his dissatisfaction with Putin's actions. He is reportedly considering further sanctions against Russia. Trump's envoy, Keith Kellogg, condemned the attacks and called for an immediate ceasefire. Ukrainian MP Kira Rudik urged the United States to take more decisive actions. Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul called for additional Western sanctions. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and EU Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas echoed these sentiments, advocating for intensified pressure on Russia. There is a clear consensus on condemnation, but effective enforcement of pressure remains complex. The complexities of international support and geopolitical maneuvering are significant. In April 2025, the US and Ukraine signed a notable deal. This agreement involves sharing profits from Ukraine's vast mineral and energy reserves. The aim is to incentivize US investment in Ukraine's defense and reconstruction. Ukraine heavily relies on international partners for funding and advanced weaponry. Meanwhile, Ukraine's foreign intelligence chief has claimed that China is supplying Russia's military factories. These supplies allegedly include machine tools, chemicals, gunpowder, and components. This illustrates the broader global power dynamics influencing the conflict's trajectory. The war is fought on Ukrainian soil, but its ripples extend worldwide. The grim reality, as articulated by figures like US Vice President J.D. Vance, is that the war is unlikely to conclude soon. This sobering assessment underscores the long-term commitment required from Ukraine and its allies. Amidst the ongoing hostilities, small glimmers of humanity occasionally pierce through the darkness. A significant prisoner exchange took place over 3 days, concluding around May 26, 2025. 1,000 prisoners were released by both sides. These moments brought emotional reunions and a brief respite from the relentless violence. However, such exchanges, while welcome, do not fundamentally alter the strategic calculus of a protracted and brutal war. Ukrainians understand they must prepare for a continued struggle. Despite more than 3 years of relentless war, the Ukrainian people's resolve remains largely unbroken. They face daily hardships, profound loss, and an uncertain future. Yet their spirit endures. Their commitment to national sovereignty and independence is unwavering. Russia's initial war aims to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine and to topple its government have demonstrably failed. Instead, the invasion has paradoxically strengthened Ukrainian national identity and unity. This is a fight for their very existence, for their right to choose their own destiny. Their courage has become an inspiration to many around the world. This deep love for their homeland fuels their extraordinary resistance. This resilience is not abstract, it is visible in countless communal efforts. Across the country, volunteers work tirelessly. They clear rubble from bombed buildings, They distribute essential aid to those in need. They provide psychological support to traumatized individuals. Neighbors help neighbors, embodying a powerful sense of solidarity. The fabric of Ukrainian society, though stretched, has not torn. These grassroots initiatives are crucial for survival. They maintain morale and demonstrate the quiet heroism of ordinary citizens facing extraordinary adversity. It is this collective action that forms the backbone of Ukraine's ability to withstand the onslaught. The nation makes immense sacrifices to defend itself. President Zelensky recently lowered the conscription age to 25. This move aims to boost troop numbers to counter Russia's significant manpower advantage. Russia reportedly aims for 1.5 million active servicemen, with approximately 620,000 soldiers currently operating in Ukraine and Russia's Kursk region. Conscription is a controversial and difficult measure, reflecting the severe strain on Ukraine's human resources. Ukraine's objectives remain clear: the liberation of all occupied territories. This includes land seized since February 2022 and Crimea, annexed in 2014. The scale of this ambition, against a formidable aggressor, highlights the immense challenge ahead. Ultimately, it is the enduring strength and hope of the Ukrainian people that define this struggle. They fight for freedom. They hold a vision for a peaceful, independent future for their children. The relentless attacks, like the devastating barrage on May 25th, test this spirit to its limits. The tragic loss of young lives, like those of Stanislav, Tamara, and Roman, fuels a deep desire for justice and a lasting peace. Yet through the darkness, hope persists. Ukrainians believe in their right to exist as a sovereign nation. They believe in their eventual victory, and the world continues to witness their profound courage in the face of unimaginable adversity.